Welcome to this demo of IDEA Architecture 19. IDEA is the easiest transition from AutoCAD to 3D architectural design in BIM. There is no need to learn anything different. IDEA uses DWG as native format and very simple commands that any CAD user knows. The menu is so familiar, as you can see, that all the users can work immediately when they install this software. There are also the BIM Let's Say menus like the Auto Reg menu, which is the 3D topographical component of IDEA, for designing the topography of the project, the contour lines, the excavations, etc. The menu's definitions, building entities and drawing calculations are the main menus for designing and editing the BIM entities of the project, but also for creating all the drawings automatically. The menu Photo IDEA contains the commands for applying materials to objects and rendering options, while the menu Walk IDEA is the virtual walkthrough component of IDEA Architecture, which enables the user to walk inside and outside the building. Keeping all the usual CAD features, IDEA assures the open communication among the CAD users through the native DWG format. IDEA can also import and export IFC, so can open any file form ArchiCAD, Revit and other BIM programs. Let's start with creating a new project file. It is very important to create a new project, because all the files that we will produce from our project will be saved automatically in the project folder. Selecting the command building definition, we set the number of the floors, the height, a name if we want. We have also the option to set a file as background to work on top of this. This file could be either a DWG file or even an image file. Let's select a DWG file to work on top of this. As you can see, it is imported in the plan view. Selecting the command wall, we can set some characteristics of the walls, the height, the thickness, the beam, etc. Using the snaps, we start designing the walls. Whatever I design in 2D, it is also designed in 3D as well. We can see that in shade and in render mode too. I delete these entities and let's see how we can work on top of a simple image. From the building definition, we select an image as underlay. When it is imported, we have to check the scale in order to design on top of this. We fix the scale, and again with the command wall we design the walls of the building. Again, we select the 3D view in order to see our 3D model. In IDEA we are able to design a wall from a simple polyline. Almost all the BIM entities can be created from a simple polyline, and this is something that we will see many times in this demo. Here, I create a polyline, with an arc segment and some linear segments. This polyline could be the outline of a building. Then, we select the command outer wall from polyline, and selecting the polyline it is turned into a wall at once. What we design in 2D, is automatically designed in 3D as well, and of course we can see the result in shade or render mode too. Let's delete these entities and continue with adding openings in our project. In order to design a window, we select the command window, and from the option type we select the opening type from a rich library of different opening shapes. Then we give the geometric characteristic of the opening like the height, the rise, and the length. Pressing OK. We select the wall. We give the first and the second point, and the window is placed automatically with its label. From the command library manager, we could freeze the layer of the XREF in order to see only the entities that we have designed. In fact, from the library manager, we have the option to select which layers we want to be appeared in each view. For example, we can select the XREF not to be visible in 3D neither. Here is the project in a draft render mode. In the same way, let's add a new window, giving specific dimensions. The window can be centered on the wall automatically. Selecting the command wall dimension, we see that it is centered on the wall. We can continue adding more automatic wall dimensions and centering the windows that we want. We can copy a window to multiple walls, and the program is smart enough in order to place it right on the wall we select. If it is necessary, it is rotated automatically. We can also edit multiple windows together from the property panel. We can select a part of the building with a selection window. From the property panel, we select only the windows and we can change any of characteristics. For example, we turn a window to a balcony door. We see many of the characteristics that we are able to change, like the material, adding shutters, etc., but let's just change the length. Of course, there are plenty of characteristics that we can modify in openings. From the property panel or with double-click on an opening, pressing the button Properties, we can set the percentage of the opening either in 2D or in 3D. We see the result of an open window. Again, from the opening properties, we can define the existence and the type of the shutters. We can also set the shutters to be opened in 3D view too. Again, from the Layer Manager, we select the XREF to be visible in 2D view. We can continue designing the openings as they are displayed in the image. We can edit the dimensions and the rest of the characteristics as we did before. We can edit the openings either in 2D or in 3D view. The label of the opening is created automatically and the user places it next to the opening. Let's place now a door. We select the command door, and after setting the characteristics, we press Accept. Then, we select the wall and we give the first, the second point the inside of the opening. The door is created with its label. We repeat the procedure for the second door of the building. We can see the result in 2D or in 3D, in shade or render mode. Like in Windows, either from the property panel or with double-click on a door, we can edit the characteristics of the doors. We can change the dimensions, etc., but we can also put an image as a material for the rendering. Let's place now a slab. In order to place a slab, we select the command slab and we can define the outline of the slab either with points or with polyline. Let's select points, and one by one, we give the points of the outline. Of course, giving the points, we can use the snaps in order to select the right points. But, if we make a mistake giving a wrong point, there is no reason to worry, as we can fix it after completing the command. Switching to 3D, we see the slab in shade or render mode. We can rotate the building too. From the grips, we can edit the outline of the slab, as a simple polyline. We see how easy and handy it is to edit a slab from the grips. Selecting Undo, we can take back the change we did. Let's see also how easy and fast it is to create a slab, using a simple polyline or a rectangle. Let's create the slab for the balcony, for example. We design the rectangle. We select Slab, from Polyline, and selecting the rectangle, it is turned into a slab at once. Here is the balcony in 3D. It is really fast for any CAD users that knows how to design a polyline to design a BIM entity too. Let's see now how easy it is to create a hole in this slab, either a simple rectangular hole, or a hole using a more complex polyline as shape. Firstly, we create the polyline with linear and arc segments. It should be a close polyline. Then we select the slab, and with double click we see again the properties of the slab. We select Hole, from Polyline. We select the polylines and the holes are created in the slab. In case we want to remove these holes, again, double click on the slab, and we select the button Delete Hole. Then, we select the holes and they are removed. All these functions can be done either in 2D or in 3D. We can continue adding some columns in the project. Selecting the command column, There are 4 options to select how to design a column. We can design rectangular, circular columns, columns with points, or from polyline. Let's select a rectangular column. We give the dimensions and pressing accept, we just put it in the plan view. Of course, all the known edit commands like copy, move, rotate, array, etc. can be used in BIM entities. So, we can copy a column. Let's place also a circular column. Again, we give the radius of the column and we place the column on the plan view. Next option in placing a column, is to place a column with points. We give one by one the points of the outline of the column. We can use the snaps, in order to design easier the column. After completing this procedure, we press enter. We see the result in the dialog box, and pressing accept, we place the column on the plan view. Last option for the creation of a column, is the option from polyline. We design a closed polyline. And from the command column, we select the polyline. At once, it is turned into a column. We see all the columns that we designed in 3D as well. Let's continue adding the internal walls. We need the XREF if we want to follow the image we have inserted. So, we open the layer of the XREF, and with the command inner wall we start designing internal walls. The procedure is the same with the external walls. We add the internal walls, the doors, and we use all the known CAD commands like rotate, move, copy in order to design the rooms as we want. We can change the dimensions of the entities from the property panel as well. We can also use trim or trim all command in walls. This is something that makes CAD users to feel that they already know idea, even it is the first time that they use it. The next command that we will see is the command staircase. This command helps us to design any type of stairs. Let's select the type reformation, which is the type of stair we have in this project. We select this type, and pressing the button point definition we give the points of the outline. The staircase is created automatically. We see the stair in 3D view too. We see our project in render mode, with all the entities that we have created until now. There are many more features to each of these entities. For example, in staircases we can add walls below a stair, and the program can adjust the walls to stair automatically. Let's see how we can do that. In plan view, we design the walls below the stair. We switch to 3D view in order to be easier to see the entities. With double-click on the stair there is an option connection with walls. We select the walls and the program extends the walls into the stair. It is really impressive that there is no need to select one by one the entities that should be adjusted. In IDEA you can find many 2D and 3D blocks. Blocks for furniture for all the rooms of the building, and also blocks for the surroundings. Let's add some furniture to the living room in order to seem more appealing and to see also how we can edit these entities. Let's add an armchair, a coffee table, and a sofa. We can select to insert them either with no scale, defining the scale, or giving the exact dimensions. Of course, even you insert them with no scale, you can edit them later from the property panel. We can also use copy, mirror, etc. in order to place them as we want. We can see of course the result in 3D view. We can edit the characteristic of the library objects from the property panel, but we can also change the material with double-click on them. For example, with double-click on an armchair I could change the material, selecting from a material list. We can do the same with all of the furniture that we added. Very impressive is also the option to change the material of all the objects of a category with one movement. You can select all the building, and from the property panel, you select only the walls. You can select from the properties of the walls, to change the material of the internal or the external side of the walls. Let's select a gray color inside and outside for our building. You see how fast the material is applied to all the walls, and this change has been done real time. Of course, we can do the same for any of the BIM entities. Let's change the color of the columns. We need only some seconds for this change in a whole building. Let's add some more furniture to our project, in the bedroom for example. We select the library of the bedroom furniture. We can select a bed and place it as it is displayed in the image. Let's add also a closet. Of course, we can move or copy any of these entities. We can see the result in 3D, in render view. Let's make a little bigger the balcony door in order to have a better view of the inside. Either in 3D or in 2D, we make the changes we want in openings in order to have the final result. We can work either in the plan view or in any of the 3D views. The changes can be done either with double-click on the entities or from the property panel. We continue in the same way with adding some more furniture to all the spaces of the building. Let's add a table with chairs in the living room. We can select any of the blocks of the library. After inserting it in the building, we can edit its dimensions from the property panel too. Let's add some more. Maybe this modern armchair next to the sofa. We select where to place it, the angle, etc. We can check the result in 3D view, in real time, fast rendering. This is the advantage of having the OpenGL rendering. There is also an office in the building. Let's select the type of the office table. We select where to put it. Of course, we can move it from the grip. We add one more armchair in this space, to let's say complete the decoration regarding the furniture. There is no meaning to add others and wasting time with that. We have too many commands to explore. Let's see the 3D building until now, and we will continue with creating views, sections, perspectives, etc. Let's return to 2D view and let's close the layer of the XREF. Now, we see only the building as we have designed it until now. Let's start with creating a view. We select the tab Drawings Calculations and we select the command view. The program asks the first point, in fact, where the viewer stands, and the second point, where the viewer is looking. The view is created and we can also give a name in order to store this view in the viewpoint panel. So, let's give V1 as name. All the views, sections, etc. that we will create are live drawings. That means that any change done in any of them, updates also all the other drawings. In Plan View, I make a change. Let's copy this window. If I call again the view V1, it is updated with that change. But also, if I make a change like deleting this window in the view, the Plan View is updated too. In the same way we work in sections too. To create a section, the program asks the first, the second point and the visible side. Again, we can give a name to the section. If I make a 3D orbit, I see the 3D model how it is cut. So, I understand exactly how the model is cut and which entities are projected. It is really impressive to see the half of the model. Let's talk about the layouts. In layouts, I can create, for example, in the same layout a view in a section of the project. Returning to the project, any change I will do, will be updated to the layout too. For example, I continue working on the project, copying this floor to the second level. Now, I have a 2 levels house. Returning to the layout, I see that the view and the section are updated. Back to the plan view, let's continue by making some changes in the second floor. Let's delete these entities. The walls should be moved a little. And let's create also a new balcony in this second floor. First we design the slab from a simple rectangle. We can turn any shape into a slab as we have already seen. Then, we select the command rail. We can select the type, the shape, let's say, of the rail. There is a rich library of shapes, but we can also create our own shapes. Let's select this shape for a rail. As in all the BIM entities we have seen, we can create a rail either with points or from polyline. With the option points, I give the points of the outline one by one. In the end, I give the side the rail is placed. We can see the result in 3D render view. Either from the properties panel or with double-click on the rail, we can change any of the characteristics like the height of the low wall or the materials. We can change either the material of the rail or of the handrail. Pressing accept, all the changes are applied to the model, to the views and sections, but also to the layouts. Let's see now some more advanced commands, like how you can create your own opening shapes. In IDEA it's really easy to create any BIM entity from a polyline. So, let's create a polyline and we will see how fast and easy we can turn this polyline into a custom window. We create the polyline. This polyline should be the shape of the window in view. We select the command opening shape. Here, we start by selecting the polyline. Then, with the selection window, we select again the polyline in order to create and save the slide, and in the end, we press enter drawing. This polyline is now saved as a custom shape. We continue by selecting the Windows library. In the option way that opens, we select any of the opening ways we want from the library. There are simple, but also more complex opening ways. We can select any of them, of course, and this will be adjusted automatically to the shape we want. Let's select this one. Next step is to select the opening shape. In this option, we don't select from the library, but from the user's library, in order to select the shape that we created before. The new window is almost done. We should just follow the commands in the command line in order to create the final files, rendered images and slides. All these of course are created automatically. Pressing accept, the procedure is completed. The new opening is created and it is in the user's Windows library. Let's see now how we can select this opening. Maybe we want to add this here, next to this existing window. From the command window, we select type from the user's parametric library. As we see, it is the only one in the user's library. We select this, we give the first and the second point on the wall, and it is placed. We see that, in 3D render mode, this new user opening is totally parametric. From the properties panel or with double click, we can make any change in its characteristics. We can even change the opening percentage. We see that opened in 3D. And this is done by creating a simple closed polyline. To see how parametric this new window is, let's put shutters to this. With double click, we select a type of shutters. We set the percentage of opening of the shutters and pressing OK, we see that the shutters are adjusted exactly to the shape of the window that we created. It is really amazing. And of course, we can make changes from the properties panel too. It is really fast working with IDEA, so, any BIM entity can be created in this simple way from a simple polyline. Let's delete this window and save our project. We saw earlier how we create views. There are of course many more commands to see in views, sections, etc. Let's select this view and put automatically the elevations of any point on that view. With the command view elevations, we give the point that is the start of the measurement, and then, by making click to any point, the elevation is put automatically. Of course, there are many more commands, like the material table in views. Firstly, you can match line colors with materials, and then you can place in view the table of materials, which is automatically updated. If you make any change, all these info will be kept in the view and updated. You understand, of course, how fast you can complete and print your drawings. Let's see now another smart function of IDEA. You can create more than one views, sections etc. with different BIM entities to be displayed. For example, you can create another view, the same like the V1 that we have already created. But, in this second view, we can set the rails not to be displayed. From the Smart Layer Manager, we can select the name of the view, section, axonometric etc. and we can select which entities we want to be displayed to each of them. So, you can have two sections or views, let's say, of the same point, but the first one has furniture or rails, while the second one has not. This makes you very flexible while you are creating your drawings. You can call a saved view either with double-click on the shortcut or from the viewpoint panel, of course, with double-click on the name of the view. The next BIM entity that we will see is the staircase. In IDEA is really easy to design any shape of a staircase. Selecting the command staircase, we see a window with many different types and also the free route staircase. Let's select this simple one to see the basic characteristics. From the option point definition, we give the points of the outline of the staircase. The program creates the staircase and we are able to make changes to its characteristics. We can change the material of the staircase. We select whether it is from concrete or wood or metal. We can select where the stringer is placed. We see the result in 3D. Of course, we can continue editing a staircase in 3D. Let's add a rail to the first side and a wall to the other one. We can set the number and the characteristics of the handrails too. We can select the shape of the rails and the materials here. Pressing accept, all the changes are applied to the staircase and we see the result real time. Let's see that also in Render 2. For these draft renderings that we do in OpenGL Render, let's set a white background to see more clear the entities. We do this from the command Render Options, Background, changing the color of the background. Let's create now a more complex staircase, using the free route staircase. Using again a polyline, with any shape, we can turn it into a staircase. We create a polyline with linear and arc segments for the ascension line of the staircase. With the command offset we give the distance and we create the polylines of the outlines. We select the command free route staircase. We select the option geometric definition and we select firstly the polyline of the ascension line and then the outlines. The staircase is created automatically. Pressing accept and selecting 3D view, we can see that in 3D too. Of course, this staircase that is created from our polylines is totally parametric. We can add wall or rails to this too, as we did earlier. We can also add landings. These landings can be added to any point of the staircase and each of them could have different dimensions. Pressing accept, we see the result in the preview of the staircase and of course in the model. It is easy to understand that you are able to create any shape of a staircase using the combination of a free route staircase with landings. Back to the plan view. Let's go to the upper floor in order to add a roof to our model. Selecting the command roof, we see again many types of roofs. Of course, we can create also any shape of roof using a polyline. But let's select a simple roof and adjust the walls to this one. We select the roof and with points we define the outline. Pressing accept, we can switch to 3D to check the result. In order to adjust the walls to the roof, we can just select the roof, and with double click, we select the option connection with walls. With a window, we select all the walls of the building and pressing enter, the command is completed. All the walls are extended automatically, in order to reach the roof. I select the axonometric of the building, and as we see, it is of course updated with the add of the roof. We can now delete these staircases here, that we made as examples earlier of course. Returning to the plan view of the first floor, we will add some more elements now, in the surrounding space of our project. Firstly, let's add a slab for creating a small yard, with grass and later maybe some trees. The slab is simply created from a rectangle. With double click, we select the geometric characteristics and the material of the slab. We select a grass as material from this list. In axonometric, we see the result, but let's create also a perspective of the building. To create a perspective in IDEA is very simple. We select the command perspective and we give with the mouse the first point, where the viewer is standing, and the second point, where he is looking. Then, we give define the lens and giving a name. The new perspective is saved in the viewpoint panel and we see the result. There are different types of perspectives that we can create, of course. We can also create internal perspectives by selecting the command perspective with section. Again, we define the first and the second point, the distance for the intersection and then the lens. We give again a name to this view and the result is ready. Using the command zoom and 3D orbit, we can have a better view. Of course, we can edit the background by changing the color, or by adding an image, or as we will see later, adding pictures from the real neighborhood. For now, let's just add in plan view a window in the living room, to see one more time that the perspectives, like all the other drawings, will be updated with any change we do to any other drawing. Now, let's return to the roof that we created to see how we can add a dormer window to a roof. With double-click on a roof, there are in fact two types of windows that we can add to a roof. We can add an incline window, or a window, vertical to walls. Selecting the incline window, we have to give the first and the second point, and it is placed automatically. Regarding the second type of the roof window, we see that we have also some attributes that we can define if we want. To place it, we give again the first, the second point, the distance of the outline, and it is placed at once. We see the result in render. Even these windows belongs to the roof, they are totally parametric, as the simple windows. We can edit them real time as in the other windows. We can change the shape, the type, the opening percentage. Anything can be changed either from the Properties panel, or with double-click on the entity. Let's see now how fast we can create a new material or color in order to apply this to the walls of the whole building. Firstly, we select the command Edit Material. We create a new material either by editing one of the existing, or from scratch. We press the button New. We set the color, characteristics like reflection, transparency, etc. if we want, and we see the new material in the list. We attach this material to a position in the right list. So, now, we have just to apply this material to the walls. To do so easily, we select the whole building. From the Properties panel, we select only the walls. We select the material we created for both sides of the walls. We see real-time the result. Of course, we can do the same for any BIM entity. Let's make a change to the side material of the slabs too. We can use also the command filter if we prefer so. Otherwise, as we did before, from the Properties panel we select the slabs and we make the change. You see how fast you can do any change to the materials of the BIM entities in this way. We see here that after the copy of the first building to the second one, 2 doors are copied. We can delete, of course, them or replace them with windows if we want. In this point, I want to mention that there are many materials in the library of the program in many materials lists. For example, there is a list with stones, another with bricks or tiles, etc. But of course, the user is able to create his own materials easily. And I want also to mention that we can apply different material to the internal and the external side of a wall too, as you can see here. Let's see also how fast we can add a new material from a simple image. Let's add, for example, this tile. From the command Edit Material, we select New. We give a name to the material. We select the image. Then, we select the characteristics if we want. For example, we can mix the image with the color if we want. The new material is included in the material list now. We set it in a position in the right list. Now, selecting the slab, from the Properties panel, we select the new material and it is applied at once. We see real-time the result being in render. Let's select also the perspective view of the living room that we created before. We see that it is updated with the new material. To complete with the presentation of how we change materials to entities, let's see how easy it is to change the material of the furniture. With double-click on them, we select directly from the list the material, while you are able to see the result in the preview. Pressing Accept, it is applied to the model. Before continuing with the walk idea, we should mention how we can export our drawings, like the views in the sections that we have created, to simple DWG files. It is important as, most of times, we want to share our files to users that have a simple CAD program and not a BIM program. For example, in order to export this plan view, we select the command screen drawing. Then, we select the entities that we want to export to simple DWG and we give a name. The new file is created in the main project folder, with the name we gave. This new file seems to be the same with the main project, but it is not. If we select the entities, we see in the property panel that they are not walls, windows etc. anymore, but they are simple CAD entities like polylines, blocks etc. In exact the same way, we can export all the views, like the axonometric. As you see, the new, exported file, has no 3D information anymore. It is a simple DWG file exported from the main model. And of course, they are not live drawings anymore. The changes of the model will not be updated to them. For the sections and the views, there are different commands, called section file and view file as you see. The result is again a simple DWG file with no 3D BIM information, that is saved in the folder of the project. Let's return now to the main model. From our model, we can also export the bill of materials, as we call the command, that helps us to estimate the quantities of the elements that we have designed. Selecting this command, the program asks us to select which kind of entities we want to estimate. It also have options about the accuracy of the measurements, some details like paintings or plasters etc. The results are exported to an Excel file and the user can edit it further as he wants. The last group of commands that we will see in this demo, is referring to the walk idea. Just import some more elements in the surrounding, like trees, plants etc. in order to have a more attractive result. Of course, in such a small presentation it's not easy to have a very appealing result, but even in that case, you will understand how easy it is to have a good result in a few minutes. An idea. In Walk Idea we are able to create any shape of a path. But, as a type, let's say that we have two options. A path that we walk, looking to the bisection of the segments that constitute the path. Or a path, where we walk along the polyline of the path. So, we design two polylines as you see in our example. We switch to 3D view. With the command insert path from polyline, we select the first polyline. We set the option B, to set that we walk looking to the bisection of the segments and not along the polyline. Giving the rest of the settings, and the visible side, the path is displayed. In the same way, we give the options for the second polyline and now, both of them are displayed in our model. Then, we have to run the command geometry file, in order to create the model in Walk Idea. If we are in 3D view like now, only the 3D view of the building will be displayed in the Walk Idea, and not all the levels of the building. Let's see the result pressing the command walk. In the list of project paths, we see both the paths that we created. We select any of them and we see the result. Of course there are options in order to increase or decrease the speed. We are able to take picture of any point of the path. We are also able to record it in a video file. We can also design smooth paths, with polylines consisted by arc segments too. A very interesting option that we have in Walk Idea, is that, we can insert the images of the real neighborhood of our project. In this way, the result will be even more realistic, either for taking pictures or for creating video. We select the images and the videos are updated with a new background. It is really impressive, because it is very easy for any CAD user to do it. Of course, there are many more options in Walk Idea, but I think that it is clear that it is really easy with Idea to create and very appealing result to present. I hope you enjoyed our presentation and feel free to contact us in order to ask for any further information about our software. Thank you.